Hello friends, Kurt Berglund here looking at APBA football, old school style. This is the original APBA football game, and if you can get your hands on a copy of it, which isn't all that difficult, I want to walk you through kind of what I'm learning about the game. I'm not an expert. If you've got things to add, please do so in the comments below. And I kind of want to break down what I'm learning about the game. I did have an unboxing video to kind of go through the parts. I'm going to break those out as we kind of go along here so that you can see how the game works. And if it's for you, think about that as a sort of consumer information. So let's get started on APBA football original style. This is the first version of rules for APBA football. It's gotten a lot more complex, and get into that some other day, but we're focused on this one here today. Thanks for joining me. Don't forget to click like and subscribe to my channel. I need your subscriptions to keep my channel going, my friends, and I do appreciate that very much. Okay, here we go. APBA football game. You are provided sort of score sheets, play sheets that look like this. You've got your scoring by quarters. You can keep track of first downs. The timing is 30 plays per quarter. There are timeouts as an option in the game. You keep track of your offense and defensive teams. This is very thin, old paper from the mid-70s. I made some photocopies, and this is what they look like. But probably, I'm thinking these are helpful. You can keep stats here. A whole lot of opportunity to keep track of different stats that you might want to on this sheet might be useful for other games. If you'd like a PDF of this, send me an email to berglund.kurt@yahoo.com, and I will send you a PDF of this. If you are a subscriber to my channel, I will be happy to do that. Okay, so what I did was I took two teams from 1975, and they are the Packers and the Bears. Notice that on this sheet, the offensive team and the opposing defense are matched up, so that to sort of facilitate your scoring as you go along. You add up the points for each, and that will tell you which column to use. So 29 offensive points, 34 defensive points. So we are within the 6 points of difference, which tells us which column we're going to use. So let's look at that. For play calling in the game, which we'll get to right here, there are 3 plays. So if we look at the plunge play, what you're seeing here, and I think I got the whole thing in my... Whoop, no, I didn't. I didn't get the whole thing in my camera. Let's try it this way. So if you look at the plunge play this way, and I apologize for shaking, what you'll see is letters A, B, and C. This is between the defense's goal line and the 9-yard line. So this is in the ultra red zone, I guess you could call it. This is between the team's 10-yard line and the 30-yard line. And then this is down here between the defensive team's 31-yard line and the offensive team's own goal line. So what you have is A, B, and C. Up here you have A, B, and C. And over here you have A, B, and C. Now what does that mean? Well, let's look at the rule chart that talks about that. It says here, this is really critical because it tells you what you're going to look at when you're looking for play results. So it says here that if the offensive platoon of Team X has a total of 11 or more points above the total of the defensive platoon of Team Y, use column A. So what that means is that if the offensive team is seriously stronger, you'd use A. These three results. On the other hand, if the total is 10 or if the total is 10 more to 5 less inclusive, you use column B. And if the total is 6 or more less, use column C. So big difference, little less difference, not much difference between the quality of the offense. Big difference, little less difference, and very little difference, almost even, between the offense and the defense based on the point system that Richard Seitz and his friends set up. So if you look at these totals here for the offense and the defense, we see that we are less than 6 different. So what we would be using is column C for these results on these plays. Now that can be impacted, of course, by substitutions or injuries. So as you cross folks out, put in subs as needed, that could be something that's different. The other thing that I suppose could be different is if you make changes based on not injuries, but on performance or perhaps different skills of the different players, that could warrant a substitution, which could affect your point total as well, either on offense or on the defensive side of the football. So for APBA football, you have the plunge play, then you have the running play. Now the running play I'm assuming is something like an off-tackle play or something along those lines. And then you're going to put the ball in the air. There's the short pass. And then there is the long pass. So you're really dealing, as far as plays from scrimmage go, you're dealing with 4 separate plays. Now each player gets their own individual card. I'll talk about that in a minute, but before I leave these altogether, there is a chart for place kicks. I love that, place kick, field goal tries, and punts. There it is. There's the punt. All right. There are, in the old version, we've got punt and kickoff return, punt and place kick returns, kickoff returns, intercepted pass returns, fumble recovery runs. We have a pass interception table right here. And we have a penalty table along with the, if you're familiar with APBA baseball, of course, the J table, the player injury table. So we have penalties and injuries. All right. There's also some optional rules that sort of make the game a little bit more sophisticated, I guess you'd say. This gives more options, maybe an advanced type of game, although I don't think by today's standards we'd call it that. These cards, this shows you here that each player has their own individual card in APBA football. And these are the Packers. Now, the full team for this Packers squad is, I believe, 30 players. I don't think there are extra players. Oh, I'm wrong. There are extra players. So I think this is 34 players per team. In 1975, the Packers were not very good. In fact, neither were the Bears. The game itself is built, I think, primarily maybe for face-to-face play, although it certainly does play well for solitaire. So if you want to call your 4 plays, you can do that using these cards. Then, on the back side, you don't see what the card is, so you're just sort of, each team would get these. This is interesting here. It says, running play includes end runs, draw play, off tackle, rollouts, fake passes, reverses, etc. Plunge play includes all power plays into the line. So that is defined. Now, in the version of the game that I have, there is also a football field on which it is possible to keep track of down and distance. But I don't have the slider things, but that doesn't matter. You can still use this to kind of as a visual to keep track of what is going on in the game. There are, on the boards, there are some charts, as I said, to sort of increase the complexity of the game, perhaps the realism of the game. The instructions urge you to use the players and the plays in a realistic fashion if you want to get statistically accurate results, which I thought was interesting. There are some other defensive options, including the blitz and ground play defense, which is like a short yardage defense. There's an option for out-of-bounds plays and timeouts. And there's also the choice to use onside kicks, should you have the strategic need to do so. So that is your breakdown of the parts and sort of the elements of the game. Now, the defensive it says here, this is, I don't know if you can see this. Let me move this down. Give you a little bit better look. Yeah, this is better. It says here that the defensive maneuver described on the respective play boards may be used at the coach's discretion or may the additional defensive options outlined on the onside kick board. All right. So what happens is, and the cards that you get, this is Walter Payton's rookie card. This is kind of interesting. But what this shows you is that the different players, based on the ratings that they have, might be better at a running play or a plunge play than others. So it kind of varies with how the players, I guess, the player's stats indicated that the player did in those particular roles. All right, I think that pretty much, okay, and so then the rest, let's zoom this back up here a little bit. So if you look at the right column on the board here, you can see that outcomes of yards gained, yards lost, potential turnover, automatic touchdown, and penalties. Where is it here? Penalty checks. I just saw him. Well, you probably see him. So it kind of your whole range here that you get, again, based on the difference between the strength of the offense and the defense and the yard position is what you would look at. All right. So I think that that covers the basics for classic APBA football. I hope this has been helpful for you to give you kind of a glimpse as to what the game looks like, what the cards look like, and what you'd be getting yourself into if you pick this up. If you have questions or comments about the game, please put them in the comments below. Feel free to do that. If I've missed something, or if you'd like to see more of something, please let me know and I can do that. All right, thanks for being with me. Don't forget to click like and subscribe to my channel. I hope you have a wonderful day. So long, everybody.